Let's get right into this review for Last Breath. Alright, so Last Breath is a cinematic piece based on a harrowing true story about a seasoned deep-sea diver named Chris Lemons getting stuck underwater from an unforeseen incident and the drama that follows. This film is directed by Alex Parkinson, who, as a matter of fact, co-directed a documentary version about the same story also titled Last Breath back in 2018. But yeah, I never viewed the documentary version, so I don't know how it compares to this narrative format. And now to get right into it, how was the overall cinematic presentation of Chris's story for the film? I thought the main narrative here was executed as well as it could have been. Generally speaking, I don't think all true stories are ideal in the movie format, but in this case, I thought Chris's harrowing journey underwater made for some pretty intense sequences throughout the majority of Acts 2. And none of these segments ever felt overdone or overly dramatic than it needed to be, which is definitely a plus for a film based on a true story. I also found many of the pivotal moments in the film to be gripping, and it even had me feeling emotional at times. It's safe to say that the important story beats landed when it mattered the most. And just to dwell into a few more positives, I thought Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole did a fantastic job in portraying their characters as the main leads for the story. And I also thought the cinematography at sea and underwater held up well enough to showcase the narrative here. So props to the entire production team behind the visuals and the characters for the film. Now to get into the negatives, I think the biggest setback for the film takes place near the beginning and the end of the narrative. Several moments in Acts 1 and 3 either felt rushed or too bare bones for me to care. They just come off as intros and outros to the story, and it never becomes anything more than that. So even with an already shorter runtime of 1 hour and 33 minutes, I still thought moments in the beginning and end phases could have been shaved off to keep the pacing more consistent or concise, as I felt it didn't really add much in particular to the main narrative. Other than that, I honestly don't have much else to say. I found this to be a solid movie experience. So my final score for Last Breath is 8.5 out of 10. It's a compact narrative that tells a simple premise of a true story as well as it could. If what you saw in the trailer intrigued you, I don't see how the overall cinematic package here will end up leaving you disappointed by the end. And one thing that helped me was not knowing how this factual story was going to turn out, as I didn't do any research into the story of Chris Lemon's incident, so going into this film blindly was definitely a good one-time watch experience for me. Thanks for checking this review out. I'll have a lot more coming soon. I'm super excited about next week's release in particular, so stay tuned for that, and I shall see you on the next upload. Until then, peace.